Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
The sheep that belong to me listen to my voice, says the Lord. I know them and they follow me.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus went into the temple and began driving out those who were selling. According to Scripture, he said, "My house will be a house of prayer, but you have turned it into a robber's den." He taught in the temple every day. The chief priests and the scribes, with the support of the leading citizens, tried to do away with him, but they did not see how they could carry this out, because the people as a whole hung on his words. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In school days, while cycling from home to school, I would pass the local synagogue, and on it, in English and in Hebrew, are the words that we have just heard. My house will be called a house of prayer. And actually, I believe it adds for all nations. In the middle of Cardiff, that was interesting. Not far from our school was another place of prayer, as well as the main church, St. Peter's. There was a convent, and quite often I would have to pass it, especially sometimes when coming back from an orchestra practice in the evening. And there was a magic as one passed that convent between the church and our school. That particular street was fairly quiet, and even though a Protestant, I was aware that there was a sacredness in the air, and I used to imagine how it would be like to have one's Bible in that place and in the silence of that convent to peruse the Word of God. It was, even though not yet Catholic in fullness, there certainly was a grace of Catholic instinct in the air. And the presence certainly can touch, even from the inside, someone who is in a state of grace. So we have not less, but more than our Hebrew brethren. They had a place of prayer which the Lord used. Indeed, he was proclaiming the word in that house of God on a daily basis. He was using the structure that was already there, prepared from long ago by divine providence. We do the same. We proclaim the word there where we are called to preach. But also in a quiet chapel, that word is present. And he wants that chapel to be quiet, that his presence may be heard and felt. And he would say something of what he said to the Jews: "Take these things out of here." This gospel then falls well on this feast day when we remember the dedication of the Basilica of St. Peter and that of St. Paul. These four major papal basilicas in Rome have their feast. St. Mary Major's is on the Feast of the Miracle of the Snow, on the 5th of August. We have that of the Lateran in the same month of November, the 9th. And these are feasted together, fittingly, for St. Peter and Paul gave us the church in Rome. Now, it is well to pause as we celebrate the sacred mysteries on what we are doing. We are one in a long chain of generations who have done the same. In the old Roman canon, we are using the prayer that would have been heard in Rome. It is of apostolic origin. And we have that phrase, this most precious chalice, coming in, indicating that in the early celebrations they had the same chalice in use, in the hands precisely of St. Peter. This then is what we are doing, and we must not give less honour and space to our King than those did who went before us. The Lord does not change with the centuries. He does not modernize himself according to our mode. He does not engage in the happy-clappy because we want to. He is unchanging stillness, and that voice of his is not a noisy voice. It wants a quiet heart, that it may be perceived. And so he would say in our day, take these things out of here, referring also to our temple, the temple of our soul. For as we clutter our churches with noise and emptiness, so too we clutter our souls. We do not have to have all this contact with the outside world, for instance in the realm of automization, the virtual contact, the bleep that reigns over our day. The day is more rich when simpler, for in the simplicity of emptiness, that word can come through. So he asks for two things on this day: calmness on the inside and calmness in his holy temple on the outside, that he and he alone may be heard. The church's one foundation is Jesus Christ her Lord. She is his new creation by water and the word. From heaven he came and sought her to be his holy bride. With his own blood he bought her, and for her life he died. Elect from every nation, yet one for all the earth, a charter of salvation, one Lord, one faith, one birth, one holy name she blesses, partakes one holy food, and to one hope she presses, with every grace endued. Mid toil and tribulation and tumult of her woe, she waits the consummation of peace forevermore. To win the vision glorious, her longing eyes are blessed, and the great church victorious shall be the church and rest. Yet she on earth hath union with God the three in one, and with things sweet communion with those whose rest is won. O happy ones and holy, Lord, give us grace then we, like them the meek and lowly, on high may dwell.